ready? Can we park over in that little side street? Because there was no parking. This little one should be okay.
Keep your trash down there and take this.
Literally, there was zero parking.
Oh, I know. It's either, if you don't park down the street, you have to go across to the restaurant.
No park there.
For their families, as they're taking pictures by the school logo and all of that kind of thing. So I said that, and so they're asking questions of who decides that, and I was like, I'm not exactly for sure what the process is either. I don't know how it's decided. We're asking school administrators and things like that. I've called it to the district office, talked to 3 different people. There's 3 different process descriptions. Talked to principals, 3 different descriptions, different processes of how it all plays out. My point tonight is not a plea for approval for my own family in any way, shape, or form. The process, it is what it is, and I understand that numbers are the way the numbers are. I get it. What this is I saw this as, for me personally, is the only route that I saw possible to get the information to the families that are affected, and also to the administration to take the proper steps to bring clarity to the families in which they serve. The process needs to be outlined. I think it needs to be available for everyone to see. And if it's different for elementary into middle school, and if it's different from middle school to junior high, if it's different from junior high to high school, then I think that needs to be lined out specifics. I mean, we were told that it's not necessarily, it's an issue from 5th grade to 6th grade, but it's really not that big, and that's really not an issue number-wise from 6th to 7th. Okay? So if that's the reality, then just having something laid out where individuals understand what's going on. And then I feel like it's important for the transparency is critical on how that process is. So if this is what needs to be done, if you were granted transfers into elementary and you are not in that theater into the school in which your child is currently attending, then this is what you need to do. And then these are the steps in which it will follow. If your sibling is attending this school, then you will have first priority. If your parent is a teacher in this school, then you will have this second priority. Or if you're in, well, whatever it may look like, and then we'll go from, whoever turned their transfer forms in next, whatever that looks like. I think that is critical on how individuals are then approved over others, just to be able to dispel the rumors of favoritism based on whatever else. And once again, this has nothing to do with anything sports related or anything. This is just the common everyday parent who has a student who is attending one of these schools. So that was just what I wanted to bring to the table, to the attention of just the district as a whole. And thank you once again for your time.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Bringing this to our attention. Dr. Ross?
Board, I'm prepared to introduce our student rep from the Don Tyson School of Innovation. I would ask Jesus Lopez to come to the microphone, if you will. Jesus, ladies and gentlemen, will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, and then I'll give you some very special information about him personally. Jesus, would everyone please stand?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's a pleasure to have each of you here this evening. I hope you feel welcome. This will be, I can assure you, one of the most special meetings of the year. I want to start by introducing a very special young man who's a senior at the Don Tyson School of Innovation. Again, this is Jesus Lopez. We are so proud of you and glad to have you with us this evening. His parents are here with him, Miguel and Lulu Lopez. Would y'all please stand and let us welcome you? Please welcome this great family. I know he's got brothers and sisters here as well. and grandparents. We're glad to have the entire family with us this evening. As you talk about your experience at the School of Innovation, I want to know more about this first item. You completed the dental assistance program. I want you to talk with us about that, because internships and preparing young people maybe for career interest is very much in our main interest as a school system. He's taken a number of AP classes. He's a member of the Distributive Education Clubs of America. He's involved in One Community, which is a nonprofit organization that really helps us build a culture of inclusiveness within our community. He's involved in the Feed Your Brain program, and he goes to read to other students in other schools during the summer. He is a lead volunteer in the Volunteer Arkansas Initiative. He's a member of the Science Action Club and goes to other schools to help with the teaching of science. We're so very, very proud of that. And then you're involved in the Don Tyson School of Innovation fashion show, planning and organizing. That's become quite an event at the school. So tell us about that as well. Welcome, Jesus. Will you do that for me, ladies?
All right, I want to thank Dr. Rollins and the board. I want to thank my teachers, because if it weren't for them, like, I wouldn't be ahead of like everyone else, like, to accomplish my career, because I did my internship through Don Tyson School of Innovation. They took the time to just give me the opportunity to go another step further into the career that I want to do. And I accomplished my dental assistant, and I already received my license through the Arkansas State Board. And I want to continue my career into the dental field by going like 2 years into ANWAC and then transferring myself into Fort Smith to do dental hygiene and just continue my careers. And I thank all my teachers at Don Tyson School of Innovation for like pushing me every day into like bettering myself and taking the time to fit my schedule with doing my internship for 3 weeks that I missed school. I was going to Rogers to learn new things like about dental assisting. And I want to thank my teachers very much for that. And also, I've been getting involved with taking like AP classes, helping out with the school fashion show, like for the end of the school year. I did this last year as well, and I want to like better the school and just be helping out more, you know. The fashion show got started with my teachers, but they wanted me to help out because I don't know, I just like get everyone excited and get into that mood, you know. Like, and I also make music, and they're like, everyone, I go by the name Frozone, like my little rap name, you know. And like they're all like, oh, come on, Frozone, you got this, come on, like hype us up. And then like last year was fun because I got to do that, and like students like weren't shy to like be into the fashion show because I was like pushing them, you know.
I'm kind of curious, what AP classes are you taking right now?
Right now I'm taking AP Literature and AP Spanish. Those are the 2 AP classes that I'm taking right now.
Very good. Well, if you ever need any celebrity models for your fashion show, Mr. Owenby would certainly be an excellent choice.
All right, I'll make sure to let them know then.
Yeah, let him know.
I do have an abscess tooth right now.
All right, sounds good.
Great deal. So have you been in the school system your entire...
Yeah, so I started at School of Innovation. I started in 8th grade when I was at the Jones Center, and then I continued right now. So I'm a senior right now at the new building that they have. So I've been there all my...
What made your decision in 8th grade to take a risk and go to the School of Innovation?
Well, at first, like, I wasn't sure. I was confused because I didn't know, like, if I wanted to go to that school. But thanks to my parents, like, they were like, you should try something new, because they heard that that school had opened, and everything was going to be like basically on computer, not really as much on paper. And so my parents enrolled me into that school, and I really enjoyed it because it was different from other schools, and it just prepared me because I'm not a student that likes to be on paper a lot. It was really good because everything was on technology, you know. So that was really good. That's why I like this school.
We have a bright future.
All right, thank you very much.
Tonight.
Yeah.
Great job.
All right, thank you, Dr. Rollins and the board.
We're very proud of you. Board, we have a room full of very special people with us this evening. And in the midst of this group are some very special teachers who are visiting with us from around the world. They're part of the University of Arkansas program. We've had guests involved in this program in our district in the past. Ladina, thank you for your leadership in opening the door and inviting our special guest in. Give us an introduction to this great program.
Okay, so I'd like to have Gavin, would you come up here, please? And your friend from... So the university was awarded this program last year, correct? This is the Teach for Excellence program where it brings teachers from, they're TESOL teachers from different countries in the world. Last year we had 24 countries represented, I think. Something like that. 26 countries this year? 25 countries, 27 different teachers. They are in 4 of our Springdale schools, Springdale High, Harbor High, George Junior High, and Lakeside. And yeah, we have 9. That's okay, we're good. And then Fayetteville also. So I'll let Gavin talk a little bit about the program and introduce her person here from DC?
IREX, yes.
Okay, and then we will pass it around and let our teachers introduce themselves and where they are from. So that's really cool.
Hi, thanks. First off, my name's Gavin. I'm with the university with Spring International Language Center, and thank you so much for opening your schools to us. We often have visiting teachers and Springdale teachers, elementary as well. We've had multiple relationships with different schools, and teachers just invite international teachers into their classrooms to share culture and visions of best practices in teaching, and so much exchange happens, and we really appreciate it, so thank you. And here is Wyatt Pedigo. He's with IREX. They're the administrators through the State Department of this grant. So the reason that we have this grant is because IREX saw that the University of Arkansas is the best school, so they chose us to host this program. So Wyatt, do you want to say anything?
Yeah. Thank you for having us here tonight. I know it's a privilege for all of our participants. As Gavin said, I'm with IREX, which is the implementing partner on this program. It is a State Department funded program, and then we work with the University of Arkansas to implement the actual program here on the ground. We work with a variety of other universities across the country as well. But I want to take this opportunity to say thank you on behalf of the Bureau of Educational and Cultural Affairs at the U.S. Department of State, IREX, as well as the University of Arkansas, for the essential role that the Springdale School District and the partnering schools that we work with play in this program. I know it is the field experience component, where they are with actual teachers here in the U.S., is a profoundly impactful experience for our participants, both personally and professionally. And it's our hope that it's the same and just as a positive experience for the educators and administrators and U.S. students that they get to interact with here. So thank you. We very much appreciate the opportunity.
So we're going to try to pass the microphone around really quickly and get all 27 of them. Where do I need to start? Where do we, okay, right over here? All right. Some of them are wearing our George shirts, just say.
Thank you. Thank you for welcoming us today. I'm from Mongolia. My name is Shuri. Nice to meet you here.
Hello, my name is Hind from Tunisia.
Hi, I'm Nancy from Malaysia.
Hi, I'm Helamai from Estonia.
Hi, everybody. My name is Teresa Romaria from Bolivia.
I am Christina from Lithuania.
Hi, I'm Ina from Ukraine.
Hello, I am Raouf from Algeria.
I'm Jasmine from Guatemala.
I'm Valentina from Uruguay. I'm Jacqueline from Chile.
I'm Nada from Iraq.
Fernando from Argentina.
Hello, Gulnora from Tajikistan.
Hello, my name is Silvia Benitez from Peru. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Hello, everyone. I'm Alina from Russia.
Hello, my name is Natalie and I'm from Belarus.
Hello, my name is Ezra. I'm from Tanzania.
Hello, I'm Sayeda from India.
Hi everybody, I'm Leila from Palestine.
Hello, my name is Zeynep. I am from Kyrgyzstan.
Hello, everyone. Namaste. I'm Bina from Nepal. Thank you.
I'm Tugay from Turkey. Hello everyone, my name is Jairo from Ecuador.
And the last one, Sameh from Palestine. Thank you.
We are so excited because we do host the one of the new arrival centers at George Junior High. And so it's interesting because these teachers come in and they get to speak to some of our students. And so we're all newcomers and it's really great. And some of them get to learn that there are more languages around the world. We did have to know, I had to look up Tajikistan. I did not know where that was and now I do, so that's really cool. All right, thank you all.
Well, again, welcome. We're so very honored to have each of you with us. We've got a great agenda this evening. I hope you can stay and enjoy at least part of it, but just know how welcome you are, okay? Thank you all. Dr. Lofton, if you would, if you'll work your way down to the microphone. Board, this is a very, very special recognition coming to a great school, great staff, great students and parents. Dr. Lofton, share the recognition that's coming to Central.
So thank you, Dr. Rollins, for this opportunity. And the Shannon Wright Award is an award that's based upon teachers. And so we have a lot of teachers that's come here today. And Mr. Pittman has been at Central for a long time and a great part of our staff along with the others here. And he's going to share with you what this means to our staff.
First, I wish I'd brought my AP Human class here because they would have known every one of those places, I have no doubt. And I'll give you guys a test after this is over. Okay, sorry, I had to do that. Okay, so there's so much to say, I can't even begin to start. Believe it or not, Dr. Rollins, I've been at Central for every principal that's been there, from starting with Mr. Carter. And last night, I named them all in order, and I thought, well, I won't do that. Okay, so I was thinking about that, and that was kind of, I think I've gotten old working at Central. I mean, aged in there, huh? Experience, you betcha. But anyway, I've been at Central 36 years, I guess, and there's a reason I've stayed there. You know, I think the staff and the school, I'm so proud of Dr. Lofton for organizing getting the process of the award. The staff is very deserving, and I was thinking about what to say, but basically it's opportunity. There's so much opportunity at Central, and all the teachers work very, very hard to put kids first, to give them those opportunities. The staff is very professional. The work atmosphere is incredible. I mean, everybody gets up and wants to go to work. Sometimes I've heard Dr. Lofton tell teachers, you got to go home now, okay? And so we put in the time, it pays off. We want to prepare our kids, not just, for the next step for the high school and then past that. And it's so fun to see kids that have been through Central and what are they doing, and doctors, lawyers, professionals, every profession you can think of under the sun. But the staff cooperates with each other during, like, last time we had a parent night, trying to convince kids it's okay to take an AP class in 9th grade, and we're going, okay, don't worry, biology's got your back, geometry's got your back, English is, so it's the opportunities there. It's a very positive place. It's never negative. We try to reach every kid. Like today, I noticed a new student who I thought needed clothes, so I went and told everybody, that needed to know that and try to get that taken care of. I think he just moved here, and so it's just taking care of every kid, and we just have a heart for students. We have a heart for Central. We have a heart for each other, and I just love going to work, and I know they do too. And this is the staff that's here, and you guys want to introduce yourselves? Okay. There you go.
Hi, I'm Colton Lindsay. I'm a 9th grade English teacher and yearbook teacher.
Mandy Ray, I teach civics and economics.
My name is Mr. Rothmeyer. I teach biology and physical science and many of your kids.
I'm Ty Gallion. I teach American history.
Randy Jones, football coach and teach algebra.
Hello, I'm Bradley Coker. I'm one of the band directors.
Christy Norwood, assistant principal. Hello again.
Mr. Weiss is right over here. He's probably taking pictures, right?
And I'll say this, symphonic band's going to Hot Springs, and choir, they're both going Friday, so they're representing Springdale School Districts, and it's just a pure example right there of opportunity and excellence. So,
Absolutely. So I'd just say that these teachers make the difference. Like, honestly, I say about this about kids, there's way more of them than there are of us. Well, these teachers, there's more of them than there are of me. This Shannon Wright Award is a tribute to our teachers, so I'm thankful for them and the work they do every day.
Great job.
Thank you all. Great job. Dr. Lofton, you would have to help me historically here just a little bit, but I believe this may be the first junior high to win the Shannon Wright Award. Certainly one of the first, if not the first.
Yeah, one of the first in the state. Really, this has been a middle school award, but Sarah, I'm sure would agree with me. One of the concepts of middle school is just really surrounding kids and meeting all their needs, and so I think there's a couple other junior highs that have been given this award as well, but we're certainly one of the few, and it's really a tribute to the work that goes on there every day.
We're really proud of our entire team. Thank you very much
Absolutely.
for your leadership.
Thank you.
Okay, we've got some young people who are off to space camp this summer. Ms. Ford, you're gonna introduce these young people?
Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Rollins. So, J.O. Kelly, George, Sonora Middle, Lakeside, and Springdale High School have the privilege to partner with the Talent Search team from the University of Arkansas. Talent Search counselors meet with first-generation college-bound students once a month from the 7th grade through the first year of post-secondary education. On the monitors, you can see the results that they are getting are incredible. 84% of the 2018 Talent Search high school graduating class successfully entered post-secondary education, and that's good by any standards. These are first-generation college kids. You can see the enrollment in 4-year college, 2-year college, vocational school. There's been a steady increase in the 6-year college completion rate, and it's 65% of the kids who go to college are graduating from college after 6 years, so that's incredible. This year, they received an additional $40,000 grant to provide extra STEM activities. In collaboration with the College of Engineering at the university, 164 junior and senior high school talent search students in the region will be invited to an all-expense-paid week this summer designed to offer high-quality STEM experiences. But the really good news for us, I'm going to tell you right here, is that part of that grant is going to be spent with 7th graders going to space camp. They've been invited through a competitive process to go to Huntsville, Alabama. These students will fly to Huntsville and attend a week-long camp over spring break. 4 of the 12 students who were invited are from Springdale, and we have them here today. Marcus Green and Jillian York from Sonora, and Crystal Sandoval and Glenn Nolan from J.O. Kelly, and we are surely proud of them, and I can't wait to hear about it. And Sonora? Okay, all right. So, and I know that their parents are here as well, so parents, if you'll stand or wave, thank you for coming and supporting these college-bound kids. So, awesome. Good?
I have a question.
You have a question. Okay.
Can one of them tell us what they're most excited about going to space camp? I mean, I can't imagine
What are you
what.
most excited about for space camp?
Hi, my name is Crystal Guerra, and I attend Joe Kelly Middle School, and I'm most excited about getting to do teamwork with all these different people, and especially getting to learn about space camp in general, and learn different ways to engineer things. Yeah.
Oh, invite them back after camp? Well, if they come back from space, we'll get them back. If you don't get launched, we will bring you back. Awesome. Thank you. Mr. Rick would love to take your picture right after this. All right. Good job, guys.
Students, parents, Crystal, thank you very much. Well, that sounds like quite an experience.
I know.
It
isn't
will be
that-
great to hear from them.
Be
when they get
great.
back. Board, we're ready to begin our focus session for the evening, and for those of you who might be here for the first time, we have focus sessions at each of our meetings, and we're looking at ways that really engage the students in the learning, that connect them to the learning, that cause them to give their best effort. And tonight, our topic is?
Our topic tonight is very tied to the quote at the bottom of Dr. Rollins' Staircase of Excellence. What the world is interested in is what you can do with your learning. And that's going to be the main idea behind our presentation tonight. Over the last several months, you've been hearing from buildings about the application ready step on Dr. Rollins' staircase. Specifically tonight, we're going to introduce you to students whose work represents an ongoing commitment, student ownership going beyond the bell out of interest, curiosity, passion, excitement about their topic. You know you're on to something good when 6th grade Carson Hayter back here says to his mom on the way to school, "Mom, I may have found my life's work." As a 6th grader. So author Don Wettrick has challenged us in his book, Pure Genius, to build a culture of innovation in our buildings, to take learning to the next level. Last month, you heard how students were using reflection in their work, and tonight you're going to hear from some phenomenal students who are working on projects that are ongoing and are pretty incredible. But first, I really would think we would be remiss if we didn't stop and just thank Dr. Rollins for his leadership in this area. His vision for and knowledge of innovation, along with his passion for kids to have authentic learning experiences, have indeed built not just a school culture, but have built a district culture for innovation. He's been the standard bearer. I remember him saying 35 years ago, kids should have bruises on their thumbnails from using a hammer. He's always believed in project-based learning, innovative practices, and student ownership of learning. He's been our leader and our teacher, and he's also in the front and center of the national conversation on innovation. And tonight we want to thank you, boss, for always challenging us, for teaching us, and for leading us by example. Our hat's off to you. So tonight, we're going to share student projects that represent an ongoing commitment by kids. You can think of it as when the final bell isn't the end. You will see projects that have spanned across school years, different teachers, and even multiple buildings. Up first, I'd like to introduce some incredible people from my school. Come on up here, guys. Carson, Gisela, and Alexis come here, and I want you to tell them about the Kelly Coffee Cat Clutch.
As a fifth grader, Carson Hayter noticed that some of his peers were having a hard time with what seemed like simple tasks. Often they would struggle with school procedures and social interactions. Carson Hayter is a team leader of Kelly Coffee Clutch.
I decided to develop an EASE project to provide opportunities for students to learn and practice social skills.
Towards the end of the school year, Carson and his team hit a roadblock when a special needs teacher got cold feet and backed out of the project.
Over the summer, I thought about why our project didn't work. In EASE, we learn about how our failures and obstacles help us learn, but by the end of the summer, I decided to try again.
The project was carried over to J.L. Kelly Middle School, where Carson had to build a new EASE team from scratch. His project started fresh.
We developed the school-based coffee shop as a way for students to learn and practice social skills. The director of wholesale for Onyx Coffee Lab agreed to meet with us. We presented the project with such passion that Mr. Sullivan was eager to become a partner. Our whole team was trained at the Onyx Coffee Lab training facility.
To ensure the sustainability of the project, the team decided to come up with a curriculum to be used for years to come. The curriculum is a collaboration between special education teachers, curriculum design experts, and EASE students. It will include social interaction lessons, math lessons, and reading lessons.
Kelly Coffee Clutch is open every Friday. General education students work side by side with students with special needs, strengthening skills by serving strong coffee. You may think the client of our coffee business is the teachers, but they are not. Every student who works for Kelly Coffee Clutch will gain skills for a strong future. Thank you.
We've got a video if you'll turn your attention to it.
I'm Carson Hayter, and I'm a 6th grade student at J.L. Kelly Middle School. I saw some of my fellow classmates struggle with some things that were pretty basic and pretty easy for other students that haven't struggled with those kind of things before. We worked with Mr. Wisdom, the special needs teacher at J.L. Kelly Middle School, and now we're partnering with Onyx Coffee Lab, and we're here today, we're learning how to be baristas, and I hope that my dream comes true. We might think that our customers are the teachers at J.L. Kelly Middle School, but really it's the special needs students. They don't really have a resource or anything to learn the things that we're trying to teach them, and whenever they go into the workforce, if they don't have those resources or the training, then it's going to be a struggle for them. So me and my team are hoping to help them learn those skills early on in life so that whenever they leave the guidance of their parents or teachers, they can be successful.
Next up, we have Smith Elementary, Ms. Simcoe.
I don't need that, so I'll
stand to the side. Thank you, Dr. Rollins and the board, for allowing us to be here tonight. It's always a pleasure to be able to share the work, the great work our students are doing. In Wettrick's book, he talks about another side and the ongoing aspect of learning, and also the importance of encouraging our students to push forward so that they can follow a passion. And that is exactly what we're going to share tonight. You're going to find out from these two students that passion is guiding their work. It's in its beginning stages, and you're going to see that tonight, but it is proving to be ongoing. Dr. Rollins, we live by your statement. It doesn't matter if a child comes to us from across the street or across the ocean. They're our children when we get them, and we teach them all. But Dr. Rollins, I'd like to add, I also feel like we're learning from them. Every day we learn from our kids and what they can bring to us. With that, I would like to introduce Candy Urelli, and we also have Coach Teague. Sean Teeters, our GT facilitator. East facilitator.
Hi, my name is Kendra Ducko. I'm going to talk about my passion project. This project means a lot to me because recently my mom moved to Mexico to get her visa. This has really affected my family and I because every time we go home, it feels like an empty house without her. But I'm a really positive person, so I wanted to inspire people to look at the bright side. Because even though goodbyes are hard, one day you're going to be able to say hello again. So then I decided to start a foundation, but first I decided to communicate with my principal, Miss Simcoe, so she could help with tasks like community partners. Once she gave me the name and email of the Arkansas Community Coalition and Miss Ruth, the leader of it, I planned a meeting with Mr. Jackson, her assistant. We decided to make an app that's basically a support system for kids. Recently, my sister has been diagnosed with depression because of our current situation. After my mom left, my older sister had to become the mother of the house, which was really difficult because she was not mentally prepared to take care of 4 people, including herself, which is why I was sure of making this app called Reunited. Speaking about family, I decided to let my cousin Ureli Rodriguez help me.
Hi, my name is Ureli Rodriguez. I've been helping Candy with the format of the app. My job was to do the designing part of the app. For our logo, I decided to make a dove with a broken chair on its foot to symbolize freedom, love, and peace. Then we thought about the kids session, and Candy brought up the idea of a jungle theme for this session. Right now, using Affinity Designer, I am designing monkeys, trees, and other jungle-themed related things. For the homepage, as you can see, we decided to put 2 hands being separated by a wall. And this project, we really don't know when it is going to get finished, but when it does, we really have some high hopes for it.
I just want to talk a little bit about kind of how they came up with the idea. Normally in the East classroom, pretty much every school is different on how this process goes. And basically they have this idea or a problem in the community that they want to solve. And then they have to, through self-directed learning, come up with the solution to these problems. In Candy's case, she kind of went about it a little bit different way, because I kind of challenged them to really think about things that they're interested in, whether that be a personal situation or experience. And I challenged them on a Friday, and she came back on Monday and kind of approached me after school or after class on Monday and gave me a note that basically started the idea about her project. as you can see, I get a little emotional. And through the partnership with Arkansas Community Coalition, they basically share the same vision as these two young ladies. And through the meeting, they said that they were about to start a storytelling initiative. And they asked Candy to basically come to their building to share their story, to basically jumpstart that process for them. So she's very excited about that, and I'm very proud of these two young ladies. Yeah. And now we are going to hear from Young Elementary.
Thank you, Dr. Rollins and Board, for letting us share tonight as part of this focus session. We appreciate being here with you. We do have several ongoing projects going on at Young Elementary School that are bigger projects, like a yearbook production that's being produced by our students. We have students who write books. We have Odyssey of the Mind projects that are ongoing all year, and reflection projects that are also collaborative and go on all year. But we take to heart Dr. Rollins' words when he says all means all, and how do we personalize? And we want all of our students to have the opportunity to have experiences with ongoing projects. So we reach out to students with surveys. How do we give them choice about what their projects will be? And we also have some teachers who are providing strategies in the classroom to build confidence. And so they've been teaching students about a growth mindset, because that's what it takes to keep a passion going or a project going, is that desire to learn and keep going. So we've been providing several after-school programs beyond the bell to create those sparks of passion based on the students' interest. Teachers are also giving some life skills lessons within the classroom about mindset and their personal learning plans about how individuals can grow. And so we've been providing things like chess club or STEAM classes, Chinese and Spanish clubs, so students can learn about culture and languages, book clubs, robotics, and robotics has kicked off to be ongoing within our second grade. And some students are very interested in community and want to provide service projects either within the building or out in the community, so we have a kindness crew. Tonight, though, we've invited a few individuals who've been sparked either in an after-school setting or within the classroom to be ongoing learners. And I'm going to let Jaden Smith come up first and talk about what his passion is.
Hello. Hello, my name is Jaden Etheridge Smith. I'm a 4th grade student at Young Elementary. We are happy to share some of our ongoing work with you. Our school board and Dr. Rollins, thank you very much for having us. My ongoing interest is to be a computer engineer when I grew up. My interest was sparked when I began coding in Miss Lopez's after-school computer club. As an ongoing project, I was able to build my first computer at home. I have found by working with technology that I have gotten better at math in class with Miss Tillman too. Next, Ava will share about her ongoing love for historical fiction.
Would you like to show you the computer you built?
Yeah, so it opens up and there's a...
Here, step down and take it and go show it.
see Randy, y'all come up for that.
And you're in what grade? When you close it up, no one would know. Like you could hide it. Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's very disguised. It's so cool.
Thank you, Julie. This is Ava Dossett.
Hi, my name is Ava Dossett. I'm a 5th grade student at Young Elementary. Our 5th grade teachers have taught us to have a growth mindset this year. Before 5th grade, I never thought I was good at reading. But this year with the growth mindset, I have found that I am really interested in historical fiction. I enjoy reading historical fiction and extending my learning by looking up the facts. I have become a better reader this year because I do more reading on my own. Now Ella will tell you how having a growth mindset has helped her with her ongoing passion that she has.
My name is Ella Henson. I'm a 5th grade student at Young Elementary. My ongoing passion is gymnastics. I practice gymnastics every day after school from 4 to 8 p.m. And I keep up my schoolwork. Learning to have a growth mindset has encouraged me to keep going when things get tough. I feel like having a growth mindset has encouraged me to keep trying and not to give up when things get hard. This is a life lesson for me. Last, Benjamin will tell you about his ongoing love of science.
Hello, my name is Benjamin Hammonds. I am in Miss Davis's kindergarten class. I feel like a scientist. Miss Halsey is one of my teachers. She helped me be interested in science. I want to tell you about my ongoing project. One day, Miss Halsey gave me a pine cone. She told us that it would close in water. I wanted to see if it would, so I took my pine cone home and put it in water. It closed, but I wanted to see if it would open back up too. After 4 days, the pine cone opened again. I like to do science experiments and will keep on doing them.
So a simple question of why sparked Ben as far as feeling like a scientist, and so he would like to invite you to think about questions of why and perhaps have an ongoing project, but we also want to thank you for the ongoing service that you provide to the school board and the Springdale School District, and to Dr. Rollins for his always support and leadership. So he would like to give you a pine cone so that you too can apply your learning and be invited for an ongoing project.
Were you reading that stuff on that card? You know you're a good reader.
And if you ask him, he knows why it will close up.
So I put it in water and it's going to close up. Is that right? It's protecting its seeds. Our girls. I'm going to leave that one right where you're.
Thank you so much.
Right there.
That might be a good idea. Next, Lee Elementary would like to present.
Dr. Rollins, when the topic came up of ongoing, I immediately thought of this team right here. But even beyond Wettrick's work, forever, it's been about the 4 pillars. And what we're about to learn about and what these boys are about to share is about the pillar of safety. And so as I introduced these boys. We're about to watch a video first, and then they're going to share with you their now almost 2-year project, an ongoing project that started last year. And I'm going to introduce J.T. Howard, Brian Duran, and Julian Martinez. After the video, they're going to share what their project is and how they've been working on it the last couple of years.
This may look like fun, playing in a storm drain, but it's actually very dangerous.
Especially when it's raining or flooding.
Yeah, as you mentioned, she was just 10 years old, an elementary school student at Lee Elementary, we know. Now, police say that she was swept away in flooding here on the streets. This is where her family lives, in the home just down the way. I actually spoke to them today, and as you can imagine, they were choked up and really unable to say much. Police say the child had fallen into those rushing waters. She was swept away, and then last night around midnight, her body was found all the way near Randall and Lowell Roads.
On April 29, 2017, we had an intense rain all weekend. There was so much rain that this storm drain was filled and flowing. There was so much water outside. My sister Felicia told my other sister Rosie and I to go check it out. We were on top of the fence looking at the water. And then we finally jumped over the fence. There was a tree, so then we held on to it. And then whenever we held on to it, we went into the water for some reason. Then Rosie let go of the tree, and then the water started pushing her away. And then whenever she started pushing her away, me and my other sister Felicia started running on the side of the ditch, and we're trying to save her, but we couldn't. And the last time I saw my sister Rosie was when she was getting swept away by the water and into the drain. No one should lose their brother or sister in the storm drain the way I did.
And that's why you should use your brain and stay away from storm drains.
Hello, my name is J.T. Howard, and I am a 5th grade student at Lee Elementary. Last year, I told my East teacher that a problem I wanted to work on in the community was making sure nothing happened again like what happened with my sister. My team and I began by defining the problem and researching solutions. We decided that we needed to work on improving storm drains and educating children about their dangers. Our team met with the Springdale engineers and presented our findings. They agreed to help us improve the drain near my home and also on improving cities and also improving around drains around Springdale.
My name is Brian Duran. My role in this long-term project has been working to identify areas around the city of Springdale where there are drains that are potential dangers. I use ArcGIS, a mapping software, to create a map for city engineers that shows where some of our city's drains are. And they are noticed as slightly dangerous, or not dangerous, and dangerous. This map and this presentation shared with city officials can work as a long-term planning document for improving these drains.
Hi, I'm Julia Martinez. One of my main roles in this project has been the filming and production of our promotional video. Also, we have collaboratively developed a button for promoting our cause. We are working on identifying opportunities to teach groups of children stormwater safety. We plan to show our video and teach kids the importance of staying away from storm drains. Brian has also made a brochure to give kids about stormwater drain safety. As you can probably tell, this project is very important to me. I plan to keep this project going in East when I go to J.L. Kelly next year. Brian, Julie, and I will be going to different schools, but we have been discussing ways we could keep this project together. We could keep working together on this project. We'd like to present to you one of our buttons we made to promote our cause. Thank you.
I'll now turn it over to Ms. Ford, who's going to conclude for us.
As you can see, projects that are ongoing, that kids have passion for, that go beyond the bell, are great for our community, they're great for student learning, and we couldn't be more proud of the students who have brought their projects to you today. We would like to thank the teachers who are responsible for managing these projects you've seen tonight. If you're in the audience, please stand. Abigail Farrell and Taylor Wisdom from Joe Kelly, Aaliyah Jones, Gina Jackson, Lily Dickard, Rebecca Bowerman, Nancy Halsey, Chelsea Davis, Alicia Tillman, and Hannah Lopez from Young Elementary, Gina Eggers from Lee Elementary, and Sean Teeters from Smith Elementary. And I think we've also got parents in the audience. So would you please stand and let us thank you?
Thank you, students. Thank you, teachers. What a great job. Ongoing. That's pretty special. Ms. Tischer, I know you have great recognitions of both student and staff this evening. Please
I
proceed.
do. Thank you. First, I want to point out, did you all notice that the students had a step stool today to help them behind this very large podium? And I want to give a big thank you to our district maintenance team. Ms. Childress actually presented that idea just yesterday. And today when we arrived, our district maintenance team had created and built this step and stained it exactly to match this podium so that our students could better present their thinking to you. So I want to give a big hats off to our district maintenance team. Jeremy White and his staff are phenomenal. Well, I just don't even know how to follow those students. What a phenomenal group of students and what a phenomenal display of projects. And to talk about innovation and all means all and the love that we have for our students in this district and their learning, I just can't think of a better way to show that on display this evening. Haley Person is the first student that I want to recognize, and she's actually not here tonight, but she's going to perform for you at the next board meeting. Haley Person is a 9th grader at George Junior High, and this past summer, she was accepted and attended an advanced songwriting camp at the Country Music Hall of Fame in Nashville. It was a very extensive application process to go to the Music Hall of Fame. Students from all around the world actually applied, and she was chosen. And her final project at the camp was to write and perform an original song. She did that on guitar and sang that song that she completed at the camp. And so she couldn't be here this evening because she's completing another advanced songwriting course, but she will be here at the next board meeting and will perform her project for you live in person. She asked me to share a little bit about her perspective of the camp. She said, the camp was at the Country Music Hall of Fame in Nashville. We learned several songwriting techniques, and we were mentored by professional songwriters. We talked to people who were experts in producing songs and to some people in the business side of songwriting. While there, we also toured the Hall of Fame. To enroll, I had to record a song, send a copy of the lyrics, and write a short essay about myself and the song I submitted. There were kids from many places in attendance. I was the only one from Arkansas. Most of the kids were between the ages of 12 and 18. And so you can see in your artifacts on page 27, there's a photo of her outside the Country Music Hall of Fame, also pictured here on the slideshow. There's a picture of her with her guitar, and then there's a picture of her songwriting class from camp. And so if we could all give her a round of applause, and we look forward to hearing her at the next board meeting. Next in your artifacts, beginning on page 28 and 29, earlier this month, Governor Hutchinson issued a proclamation claiming February 3rd through the 7th to be State Counselor Appreciation Week in Arkansas. And first of all, I want to begin, we have two very special recognitions this evening, but I want to begin first by recognizing all school counselors in our district. And they are a group that are not often mentioned, but they do phenomenal work for our students and our families and all of us on a daily basis. So first, if we could please recognize all the wonderful counselors that we have in our district. First, I would like to welcome Ms. Lauren Willis. She is one of the counselors at Lakeside Junior High. Come on up. Lauren has just been named the Arkansas School Counselor Association Northwest Arkansas Junior High Counselor of the Year.
Very good.
Yes. And so I just wanted to welcome Lauren and congratulate her, and I want to read a little quote from her. She said, "I love being able to advocate for students who don't yet know they have a voice in this world. I love the junior high age. Every day is different, and that is exciting." And I want to let her just say a few words about her very special recognition.
Thank you, Mrs. Tischer. Dr. Rollins, school board, and all the administrators here today, I'm grateful to be recognized especially during this special week. Truly, I am grateful to work in the Springdale School District. Our kids, as you have seen today, are amazing. They have so many different experiences, and let me tell you, they teach me just as much and probably more than I could ever teach them. I'm blessed to work in a district that values mental health and the work that my colleagues and I do each day. I want to say a special thank you to Dr. Rollins and my principal, mentor, and friend, Dr. Michael Shepard. 7 years ago, these two men took a gamble on a very green counselor. I had had 1 year of experience split between ALE, George Junior High, and Hillstern Middle School. They allowed me to create a counseling center with my vision in a new building, Lakeside. I'm very proud of what the work that the administration team and all the teachers and everyone has done over the last 7 years. We utilize innovative strategies and alternative methods to reach all students. Because of open minds and continuous encouragement from everyone around me, including all of the assistant superintendents who always go to bat for school counselors, I'm able to raise our kids up to new levels. I'm humbled by receiving this award and look forward to many more years serving the students of Springdale. Thank you.
Okay, next I would like to welcome Mrs. Tara Elser to the podium. Tara is one of the counselors at Don Tyson School of Innovation, and she has just been named Arkansas School Counselor Association Northwest Arkansas High School Counselor of the Year. So yes, you heard it. We have both the junior high and the high school counselors of the year right here in Springdale Public Schools. Tara, yes, let's give her a round of applause. Tara is in her second year in the Springdale School District. She's been in education for 23 years as a counselor and teacher, and she came to us at the Don Tyson School of Innovation from the Rogers Public School District about a year and a half ago. And so we're excited to have her here, and I'm going to let her make a few comments about this recognition.
Walk with the dreamers, the believers, the courageous, the cheerful, the planners, the doers, the successful people with their heads in the clouds and their feet firmly on the ground. This quote by Wilfred Peterson embodies the work that I do as a school counselor. Good evening. I want to thank the school board and Dr. Rollins for allowing me this opportunity to be recognized as the High School Counselor of the Year for Northwest Arkansas School Counseling Association. It is both humbling and exciting. Dr. Rollins and school board members, it is my sincere belief that this opportunity is possible due to your leadership and dedication to education. This is reflected in the vision Springdale Public Schools, and we've heard it many times tonight, but teach them all and all means all. This guiding principle and the support that I have received in this district ensures that as a school counselor, I make a positive impact on the lives of our students. But I do want to say in my opinion, the most noteworthy aspect of Springdale counselors is as a whole, they have been known as state leaders and putting students first for a very, very long time. In 2002, when I first started my career in Northwest Arkansas as a counselor, I soon became familiar with the difference makers in the counseling world and in this area. Connie Williams, counselor at Springdale High School, is a legend, and in a good way. She is known well in the counseling profession as a leader and an advocate for counselors and students. Sherry Neal, currently at Lakeside Junior High, is knocking it out of the ballpark as a mentor and a teacher for counselors and students. Sherry leads not only in this district, but has held state offices within the Arkansas School Counseling Association. Heather Barron at Tyson Middle School embodies the very definition of servant leadership. For years, she has been a mainstay not only in the counseling work with Springdale schools, but also within the state association. I would be remiss not to mention Nina Woodall at George Junior High, Colleen Foster at Harbor High School, and Allowayne Hunter at Don Tyson School of Innovation. All of these powerhouse counselors have been in the district for 20 plus years. Elementary counselors Sarah Geen and Stephanie Bentley exhibit amazing leadership quality at the elementary level. And just as recently as today, the district received notification that counselors Megan Hastings and Linda Oakley at Central Junior High have been nominated by College Board for their exemplary work as professional school counselors and are in the running for the 2019-2020 College Board Counselor Recognition Program. I am extremely proud to represent this group of people and our district. Springdale Public Schools values educating and supporting students. You can tell this by how they allocate their money, their time, and their effort. I also want to thank Ms. Tischer for hiring me into this district, and I want to give a special thanks to my principal, Kelly Bortz, for being a great mentor and leader and for nominating me. I am honored and grateful to be a part of this organization and to be the Arkansas Northwest Region High School Counselor of the Year. Thank you.
Thank you. So both Ms. Willis and Ms. Elser are already beginning a very extensive application process to compete to be named State Counselors of the Year. So best wishes. Yes, they have a parent night at Don Tyson School of Innovation, so they're headed out. But they are both now in the running for State Counselors of the Year, and we could not be more proud. So thank you, and thanks to all of you on the board, and thank you to Dr. Rollins.
Good evening, Dr. Rollins and board. I have a few people that I would like to introduce and some things to share with you tonight. First, if Abby Russell from Childers Knapp Elementary will stand, and Marie Fowler from George Junior High. Very excited to share with you. I'm sure you're aware of our governor's interest in computer science and how he is really pushing the computer science initiative. The Arkansas Department of Education has selected 35 educators in the state to represent the state of Arkansas this summer at the National Computer Science Convention. And 2 of those 35 are our Springdale educators. Both Abby and Marie have received scholarships to represent our state at that convention. So wanted to recognize them and congratulate them for their selection. Next, I wanted to give you an update on Roots. Oh, there it is. Went too far. And just a little reminder, Roots, which stands for Reading Opens Opportunities to Succeed, is our Springdale literacy program that meets the requirements of RISE, which is the state's reading initiative. Roots and RISE all came out of Act 1063 of 2017, and this is the Right to Read Act. And the Right to Read Act requires all licensed teachers at the elementary level to be proficient in scientific reading instruction, and to require all other licensed teachers to have a cursory knowledge of scientific reading instruction. And so I wanted to just share a few things with you because it is a very complex legislative act, and there are many things that come out of it, so I just want you to have a little bit of extra information. On page 2 starts the reading legislation guidance document. This document has a section on professional development that defines the professional development that's required for both the proficiency pathway and the awareness pathway. It also defines the professional development that's required for administrators. On page 3, it talks about the district's responsibility, and you can see in yellow where it says new, this document is actually a living, breathing document. We are always getting more directives, more information, more suggestions and requirements and guidelines from the state that are continuing to grow this literacy initiative. Another big headline of this guidance document is in the middle of page 3, talks about demonstrating proficiency or awareness by the end of the 2022 school year for employment. So participating in this proficiency and passing the assessment is required for licensure for teachers in the state of Arkansas now, according to this. And so this section just talks to you a little bit about what that means for teachers in grades K-6, literacy specialists, special education teachers, and on page 4, other classroom teachers. Page 4 also addresses the expectations for college preparatory programs and for new teachers that are moving into the state from other states. On page 5, you'll see it also embodies the dyslexia requirements, what's required for reporting to parents, and you can see all the yellow news at the bottom. Starting this year, a literacy plan will have to be incorporated into every school's school improvement plan. Those have to be in the improvement plans by May 1st. And so prior to July 1st, sometime between May 1st and July 1st, you will be approving those plans for our district school improvement plan. And on page 6, you can see some information that's new also about the purchase of curriculum and instruction materials moving forward. Page 7 begins a running update for you of what we have accomplished so far in our Roots program in Springdale schools. You can see last year we began by all administrators and instructional facilitators completing the 36-hour proficiency pathway. This year, our administrators and instructional facilitators have completed the Roots Trainer of Trainers so that we can deliver that professional development to all of our teachers. And all of the administrators have completed the RISE Assessors certification, because as soon as our teachers have completed their 36 hours next fall, our principals will have the remainder of the school year to assess all of the teachers, and I'll show you that document in a moment. All K-7 teachers, K-12 reading teachers, K-12 special ed teachers, and ESL teachers have already completed the first 18 hours of the proficiency pathway. Schools have had additional, more intensive training. Other certified teachers that aren't required to do the proficiency track have completed their 18 hours of the awareness track. Linda Odell, the building principals, instructional specialist, and I have visited over 170 classrooms this school year, observing Roots strategies in action and providing one-on-one and group feedback to teachers to help them with their implementation. We also have recently started the Springdale Taking Roots Award for the purpose of recognizing and thanking those teachers who are role models in the science of reading, teaching, and learning. And I hope you have seen that on our Springdale live feed. I'll introduce you to a couple of those teachers in a moment. Again, information about the literacy plan and our upcoming conference this summer to help support teachers in instructional strategy work. And then you can see next year we will complete the 18 hours for the proficiency pathway and begin the required assessor piece that's required for licensure. On pages 8 to 13, I just provided the agendas for you for our first 18 hours of professional development. And pages 14 to 18 is a sample of what is required in the assessment. I gave you a second grade sample. There's a different sample for each grade level. So you can see that every teacher will receive 3 visits by their principal, and they will have to show evidence of these items in order to pass the science of reading assessment. So that will be coming up next year as soon as the teachers have completed their 36 hours. Now, if I could have Chastity Sharon from Lee, Jennifer Mills from Jones, Stephanie Wilbanks from Young, and Rhonda McCracken from Walker, if you are here, come on up. So when we started our Taking Roots Award, we opened it to nominations from anybody in the district, teachers, principals, instructional facilitators, and we wanted nominations for those teachers that are really making an impact in their school and in our district for helping all of us to become better teachers of reading. And these are our first 4 recipients. I have received, to date, our committee has received over 30 nominations. So throughout the spring, we will continue thanking these teachers that are really leaders for us in Roots in the science of reading. And so if they want to, I told them they didn't have to, but that they could quickly share with you the impact that Roots has had on their instruction and the results they're seeing in their class. Any takers? Okay.
I'm Stephanie Wilbanks. I teach first grade at Young Elementary. My favorite thing that I have seen with Roots is the excitement that my students have, and we are working together as a class to build a sound wall. And they want to tell every single adult who walks in our classroom about their sound wall and what they've done to build their sound wall and what every piece means. And they're so proud of the work that they've done and what they've learned. And it's been really rewarding to see that. Thank you, guys.
Talk. I'm Rhonda McCracken, and I'm at Walker Elementary. I've gotten to see it from 2 perspectives because I teach second grade in the morning, so I get to apply everything that we're doing, but I've also had the opportunity to teach this to other teachers as an instructional facilitator, and I have just been excited how hungry our teachers are for it and how excited they are to take things back to their classrooms. And so it's fun to teach kids and their excitement, but I've had just as much fun teaching adults and seeing how excited they are to have practical things to go back into their classrooms and use. So that's part been a lot of fun.
Well, thank you very much for coming, and we appreciate your great work. And thank you again, Board and Dr. Rollins, for supporting us in all of our literacy work.
Great job. Yes. Mr. Donnell?
Big group. I hope that's not my group.
So you're speaking, then?
Yeah, they're like, hey, I'm out of here. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, come on up. If I could get the band directors and choir directors, come on up, please. That's right. Excuse me? Yeah, I know. Now I got to wait on Pianalto, right? Oh, he's catching this, don't you?
Thanks for coming. There he is.
So I want to thank Dr. Rollins and the board for allowing me to recognize this fantastic group behind me here. We are so extremely fortunate. I'm going to say that again. We are so extremely fortunate to have such an outstanding fine arts program in Springdale. From our band directors, from Jeremy Ford to Julia Stevens to Jeff Key, and our choir directors, Clint Pianalto, Rhonda Hawley, and Cindy Key, they are truly fantastic program leaders. I mean, I can't tell you how much, even this year, I've learned from them on that. This year, our junior high and senior high band programs have had an astonishing, and I can't wait to say this number, an astonishing 605 students make the all-region in all-region bands and choirs. Think about that. That's 605 opportunities for kids to move forward with. If they want to be a band director, great. If they want to utilize that money to become a doctor, lawyer, whatever it may be, great. That's a wonderful opportunity that they're going to have that they wouldn't have had maybe otherwise. And additionally, the band and choir programs have had an outstanding 65 students make All-State this year. 65 students. That is, I mean, for me, that's amazing. And 9 alternates. I think that number actually ticked up a couple too, didn't it? So we're probably at 67 right now because a couple of our alternates got moved up into the band because somebody could not fulfill that obligation. And the Central Junior High School Band and choirs have been invited to perform at the All-State Conference in Hot Springs this Thursday through Sunday. So that's even, I think Dr. Coker's here also, which is was mentioned earlier. I was fortunate enough early on in my career to have a master teacher teach me some great lessons. And one of those master teachers was Steve Platt. He was the band director at Vologna High School, and he said, I still remember this like it was yesterday. He said, Damon, if you don't hook them with this program, which was band, I was a band director, if you don't hook them in this program, somebody else will, and that somebody else might not be positive. Okay? That stuck with me my whole career. And I'd say this is the number I really want us to think about right here. Currently, there are 4,440 kids in choir and band in the Springdale Band program, and choir program. I'm going to say that again. 4,440 kids. That's incredible. I started thinking about all those experiences, those positive experiences that they have an opportunity for, and many, many, many more. I have to say, I am so very blessed. I'd like to look at them when I say this. I am so very blessed that I get to work with all of you every day and make this program better. And I'd like for everyone just to stand and recognize them again for all the great work that they do. Do you have any questions, board?
So that's 20% of our student population.
Yes.
Kindergarten through.
Correct. It's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. I ran those numbers 3 times today to make sure that was correct. And it's just over the top amazing. That is just really a great thing. So, all right. Thank you, guys.
Good evening, Board. Dr. Rollins. I have a handful of our most recent grant recipients here to tell you just a little bit about their program. So I'm going to let them go first, and then I'm going to round up a few numbers that I want to share with you that I'm very proud of, and I thank you all for the support to get us to these numbers.
Okay, I'll get us started. Dr. Rollins, Board, thank you for letting us come and just share a little bit about our projects with you. I'm very blessed to receive the Truity Foundation grant. It was a $1,704 grant that allowed us to put in place a chain link fence around what was a 320 square foot garden that is now increased to about 5,000 square feet. And so we're going to be able to expand our school garden program that our students love. They get to take the food home with them a lot of times, and they keep bringing up a couple things. They want an apple tree, which we're going to have 2 because we got to have 2, and they want a bird bath. And so we're going to be able to utilize that space just to give them something that they're proud of and a space to work in. My 9th grade agriculture students are working on building picnic tables because they also wanted that space to be somewhere they could go outside and read a book. They wanted on nice days to be able to just leave the school building and have somewhere to go. And so we're going to be able to turn that into not only a vegetable garden, but a reading space for them so that they can get outside sometimes during the day when the weather's nice and just enjoy being outside. And so we're really thankful to the foundation for their assistance in that because that grant was much more than the $1,700 price tag. Modern Fence Company actually donated all the labor to put it in. And so they came and installed the fence completely for free for us so that we had that space. And so we're just really excited for that project. And once the rain holds off long enough to dry out the ground, we're going to get started on setting up the rest of it. Also, I wanted to thank Jeremy White because he gathered up some cinder blocks for me and was able to get them to us so that we can build our new garden beds out of something permanent rather than something that's going to rot in a few years. And so we'll be able to build those and they'll be set up for a much longer time than what we have right now. So just a team effort. So.
That's great. Thank you.
Evening. My name is Alex Lund. I teach geometry over at Harbor High School. And this is actually, I'm fortunate enough to me, this is my 2nd time up here for this. And I really only bring that up because the last meeting that I was at was actually what inspired this project. I got to see all of the great projects that the elementary schools and the junior highs and the middle schools are doing and all the technology they were interested in using and getting adjusted to. And I saw that they had, they were learning to use 3D printers and cutters. And I was looking at it and realizing that they don't have those opportunities in high school. So my project was to get 5 resin 3D printers so we could start working on creating a makerspace at Harbor High School for all the students to use, because we have maybe 2 units in the actual building itself, but they're reserved for specific classes. What my goal was to start to create something that is available for all the students to have access to for whatever classes and combining with all of the curriculums and the subject areas that they're working on. So it's the first step, and we'll see where it goes from here, but I've got long-term plans for how this goes.
Great. Great, great.
Good evening, Dr. Rollins and the board. My name is Renee Grebe, and I work at the Don Tyson School of Innovation, and I'm very excited about the Springdale Education Foundation giving us the opportunity to help with a maker space. We're so excited about in our new phase 2, we're going to have about a 2,000 square foot area that we can use for a maker space, and we're calling it a learner-centric studio. We're so excited. And this opportunity, I put a little flyer there for you about it, is a partnership with the Amazium. And there have been several schools in our district that have been part of this cohort that's listed on the back there. We'll be part of cohort 5. And they will help us to really make this space available to all of our students and all of our staff to be in the maker mindset and to help students start thinking about how do they show their learning, how do they create things, how they be more innovative using tools and using technology and all of that in this space. And the Amazium gives us a lot of that time to create this space, a time to organize it, and to help train our staff in that. And I'm very excited. Chris had told me that we were the one grant that was given by Northwest Medical Center. And so that's an exciting partnership with our community, and that is what we really strive for in our EAST program and in our gifted and talented programs and all of our programs at Don Tyson School of Innovation to be part of the community. So we were really excited to have that partnership fund for our school. So thank you so much.
Good evening, board. My name is Jake Beers. I'm here on behalf of the Jones Elementary Specialty PLC. This year, specialty teachers, PE, art, music, we've been reading the book Empower in our weekly specialty PLCs, and we're looking for ways to provide voice and choice to our students at Jones. And so we launched a PLC club, and so while our teachers go for their 1 hour meeting a week, kids get an opportunity to pick a club they go to during the school day. And so the clubs range from creative PE to photography to our makerspace to EAST to art and science to our garden club and cooking club. And so we wrote a $1,000 grant and it was awarded. And so we just are very honored to continue to expand our offerings of our Jones PLC club. We love that it's embedded into the school day. Our kids get to change their clubs every quarter, so it keeps it fresh, and it provides an opportunity for our students to have those extracurricular activities embedded right within their day. So thank you for the opportunity and continuing to push this district forward. So thank you.
Good evening. My name is Lindsay Moats. I'm the Library Media Specialist at Sonora Middle School. And I'm very grateful to the Springdale Public Schools Education Foundation for awarding my Playaways Pave the Way grant. Playaways are preloaded audiobooks that help promote reading for reluctant readers. And so at Sonora Middle School, we have students check out the audio device along with the text as well, so that they can both hear the fluency and see the text at the same time to see reading growth. My primary purpose was to help our lower readers, our ELL students, and our special needs students. Many times because they are struggling readers, they are matched with texts that have younger protagonists and plot lines that don't necessarily align to their maturity level, and so they don't connect to their books as well. And so with the audio as a scaffolding, this allows those struggling readers to access texts that are more aligned to their age and their interest, and then hopefully develop that true love for reading so that they devour more text and then continue to grow as independent readers. Through this grant, we were awarded over $1,400, and we were able to add 27 playaways and books to our collection. So thank you very much.
My name's Charlene Horner. I'm instructional facilitator at J.O. Kelly Middle School, and we were awarded the Teeter Rollins Literacy Grant for the second year in a row. We know the power of education extends far beyond test scores and grades. We know it supports our children in learning how to interact with each other and see themselves as part of a community and understand who they are. So we know this work couldn't be done in just one class period, and it certainly can't be done in just fleeting conversations across a year. We know that it needs to be central to our work on a daily basis, and at J.O. Kelly we knew that. So the Tita Rollins grant, literacy grant, has awarded us at J.O. Kelly money to build our classroom libraries to help our students see themselves and connect to the students, or connect to the social and emotional health of the book characters that they're reading. This also helps them better understand themselves and help them problem solve in their own lives. So we are so grateful for this, and we are just continuing to build our classroom libraries for our kids to see themselves as characters within the characters and by the authors of the books that they're reading. So thank you. Thank you very much, and thank you to the foundation.
And I have one additional note I got earlier today. StreamGove from Monitor was awarded a classroom set of ukuleles. And now I got to tell you, this is the third ukulele grant that we've funded over the years. And when we got the first one, it was kind of a head scratcher. But I understand way more than I used to. And what she wrote was, I'm so grateful to the people at the foundation who've made my grant possible. I'm the K-5 music teacher at Monitor Elementary School, and I was able to purchase a classroom set of 25 ukuleles. My third and fourth graders have already started learning and are loving it. The level of engagement is something I've not seen in many of them since the beginning of the year. Our school has many Islander students who are especially fond of the instrument and are so excited they can go home and practice on their parents or older siblings and show off their skills. Our learning has helped me integrate things like ukulele history and anatomy, and I'm excited to see what else these instruments will open up in our classroom knowledge. I'm also thrilled that I've been able to put into perspective for our kids that just 25 ukuleles are shared by 200 students. This has opened up a wonderful conversation about proper care of instruments, and I've seen them become more cognizant in general of our equipment as a result. Thank you again for blessing the kids at Monitor. Thank you, guys. I appreciate your hard work. So the grants that we fund, you know, we really try to focus on the things that fall in the gray area, the things that don't have other funding streams. You know, if we had several $1 million in the bank, we'd fund lots of stuff. But this is an effort. There are over 250 district employees that payroll deduct a gift to the foundation every month that give us the budget to fund these grants. Now, I can tell you, that's a kind of a hard sell to tell me, you know, when I go in and I say, I know you already, you know, take several $100s out of your pocket to support your classroom. Now I want you to take 10 more a month out to support somebody else's classroom. And it's a hard sell, but it's not. So we take that money and we turn it around and we turn it right into these classroom grants. We fundraise throughout the year to add to the bucket that we have available. A couple of these grants in particular that I wanted to highlight. Kristen talked about the fence at Lakeside. And, you know, it doesn't seem like much. When you look at it in scope, a fence is a fence. But what that entails them to do and what it adds that they couldn't do already or they can do better, those are the kind of the metrics we look at. And it gave us an opportunity to go out and partner with Modern Fence. Modern Fence donated nearly $5,000 worth of materials and labor. So a $1,700 grant was really about a $7,000 project. But it will allow them to do something that they weren't able to do before. Another one I wanted to speak quickly about is Renee's project with the Amazium. And she touched on it briefly. The employees of the Northwest Medical Center, the Springdale Hospital, served as the presenting sponsors of our duck race. And in that, we realized the ability to create a partnership. So we went back and we said, okay, the money that you guys raised to sponsor our duck race is going to go into our grant pool. And we're going to bring our grant applications back to you. And as a group, we're going to allow you to help us select the grant you want to fund with your donation. And so I've met with Renee, and we've talked about how we can get real creative to get the folks from the hospital all plugged in, so they can see the donation to the foundation, to the Renee's project, and all the information go right back to the hospital. Not very often do you know when you make a gift to your nonprofit, you don't get to see the end result always. And almost never do you get to see the end result in real time like they're going to be at the hospital. And so we hope to be able to grow those types of partnerships. And I think there's real power in having our community get really engaged with our schools. You know, you can drive by school every day and you can say that's a really cool place. But it's not until you get involved and engaged that you really get committed to what goes on behind the doors. And in my opinion, when you get committed, it's when we can get you to help support what goes on. So that's kind of my goal. I did want to bring some numbers to you. I touched briefly, when I was here last, you, as a board, gave me a check. And we were able to take that check and fund these December grants. Total amount that we funded in December, we had 11 different projects we funded, was $14,498. The total grants funded in 2019, now it was through these classroom grants, the 2 cycles. We also had the opportunity to partner with some other individuals to support like the robotics program and some pass-through funds. And we also partnered with some of the elementary schools to help them eligible for joint use agreement funds. So total funded in 2019 was just a little over $94,000. Total funded to date is we funded 184 classroom grants that total $575,000. In that same time, total scholarships awarded in 2019, we currently have 62 kids on scholarship. In 2019, we awarded $89,500 in scholarships, which brings our total number of scholarships funded to date, 300 total kids, or 300 total scholarships, that equal $504,000. So with your help and support, it was a real high water mark in our 9th year of operation to be able to say we've given $1 million back to the Springdale School District and their kids. And so it's with your support, I thank you for all of that. And I'm humbled by what we've been able to do, and I'm anxious about how we're going to do the next $1 million. So anybody that's got great ideas, please share them, but we're off and running to the next $1 million we're going to give away. So board, Dr. Allens, thank you for your time tonight.
Mr. Tim Smithy, our GT
Thank you, Dr. Rollins.
coordinator, our economic Arkansas coordinator. We just go on and on.
I have a few
A
job
great
titles.
story to share tonight.
I do
Tim,
have a
thank
great
you.
story to share tonight. Last week, we attended our AGAT conference, which is Arkansans for Gifted and Talented Education. It's our state conference. And at that conference, Springdale raked in some awards. And first of all, I'd like to talk to you about some of the awards. The big award that we received was the Act 56 award. And the Act 56 award is the top award that you can get, and it basically states that we're the top GT program in the state. So with that comes a $3,000, thank you. Thank you. With that comes a $3,000 award that I'm sure that these people can easily spend. But we also received some other awards. Jennifer Malugin, Jennifer won a curriculum award while there on her curriculum on Alfred Nobel. So she got to walk away with $500. We also have, and she's from Monitor Elementary. We also have Alyssa Henley. Alyssa? Alyssa is our GT teacher from J.O. Kelly Middle School, and she won a $1,000 scholarship to finish her certification. But one of the big awards, the biggest award that we could have walked away with, Miss Jessica Graham, would you please come forward? Miss Graham is, she won the Parent Community Recognition Award. As far as, think about it, in Springdale schools, we have 2,397 identified gifted students. Now, when you take the entire state and all the gifted students and all the parents who are advocates for their own child in school and things, that's a lot of competition. And Miss Graham is the perfect example of the perfect parent. She is at every function. She is at every function that you could imagine. I know that she doesn't like for me to tell her that or whatever, but she is absolutely the most supportive parent that you could possibly imagine. She is at every function that we have. She is advocating for everything that we do, and I very much appreciate all the work that she's done. Would you like to say something?
Because we've grown to an intimate group, I'm just going to take about 30 seconds and say, advocacy only really makes a difference if it doesn't fall on deaf ears. And I'm just so proud to be in the district where I am, under the leadership that I am, not just Dr. Rollins and the board and the under the roof leadership, but Tim Smithy has been a huge, I feel like, breath in the GT program, and there's nothing I wouldn't do for the kids in Springdale. And fortunately, I don't have to tap dance on anybody's desk to get things done, and I'm just really proud of that. Thank you.
I appreciate it. I also want to recognize, the fact that I have 14 elementary teachers, 6 middle school teachers, and then I have building designees representing the junior highs and high schools. And I have some of those individuals here. Would you all like to tell your name and where you're from?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Hello, Shelby Rains. I'm at Sonora Elementary and Parson Hills Elementary.
I'm Jennifer Melogin. I'm at Monitor Elementary.
I am Wendy Peters from Bernice Young Elementary.
She has our award in her hand.
I'm Lynn Massey, and I'm from Harper Elementary and Jones Elementary.
Hi, I'm Alyssa Henley. I'm from J.O. Kelly.
And magical.
There you go.
I'm Lisa Stark from Willis D. Shaw Elementary.
Larry Cooper at Springdale High School.
And Renee Griep at Don Tyson School of Innovation.
I have a great staff, smart individuals working with amazing children. So I appreciate you, the board, and Dr. Rollins for all your support. It's amazing to work for a district like Springdale.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next is Dr. Shauna Lyons. I'm sorry, did you have any questions?
Thank you. Great work. Great work, Sam.
Contemplating that.
I'm going to take this down. Dr. Rollins and the board, the vision for grants in the Springdale Public Schools is to provide the Springdale educational community with information on grant availability as well as grant writing expertise to further fund educational opportunities for our students. And these grants also include crowdfunding efforts like Donors Choose. In July, about mid-July, we got word that Tyson was committed to funding $1 million through Donors Choose for projects in 46 school districts. A little before, and this was to launch August 1st. A little before August 1st, Dr. Rollins got word that the amount for Springdale Public Schools would be $50,000. And so when this launched August 1st, it was for
up to $1,000 for projects in Springdale Public Schools. And on August 1st, I'd already approved 65 teachers to launch their projects. So we knew we were probably already done the first day that this opened, which I think caught Tyson off guard because they scheduled my meeting for August 15th to meet with them to encourage teachers to apply. So as teachers kept requesting to apply, I just kept saying, keep going, we'll see what happens. And we were cut off about August 12th. At that time, we had 153 teachers post on Donors Choose. So our total amount, which is up there, our teacher count was 103 teachers. As reported by teachers, it impacted 20,000 students in 29 schools, and our total was about $74,000. So there were districts that didn't use all of their funds, and so they gave us some extra money. So yes, it was beautiful. We did kind of push those boundaries. But here tonight, I have with me Abby Russell is on my grants committee, and she is the guru of all things Donors Choose. You have a question about Donors Choose, she knows how to match and get the money. And so she's actually created a tutorial which is on the grants icon on the district website just to teach teachers, hey, if you want the max amount, here's how to do it. And so I appreciate that. She actually received 2 of the Tyson Awards, and so she's here to share with you what she is spending the money on.
Hi, thank you, board and Dr. Rollins. I was very fortunate and got 2 of my projects funded through Tyson. So over the summer, I went to computer science training and got to do really hands-on activities with books for kids on how to code, and also microbits. And so I posted 2 different projects, one for about $200 worth of kids' books on how to code on different languages and different applications. And I also did 20 microbits, which gives me enough for about a class. And so we have done multiple things. The kids love to code with the books. In fact, I think you got to see some of their video games when you visited Knapp Elementary. And then the microbits are really cool. They've made things, they've had them scroll their names, and we play rock, paper, scissors all the time, and they can answer different questions using those. And so just seeing their creativity soar at the same time learning these amazing skills that are going to help them be successful in their futures has just been really cool. And it's just been, I'm so thankful to Tyson because they made it so easy. I posted it and it was funded the next day. So thank you so much.
So are there any questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you for your leadership, Shannon. Great work. Great work.
Good evening, members of the board, Dr. Rollins. So I believe in your packet, you received a printout from what we've had on our district website all year, just kind of an overview of a big picture of the windows of all the different assessments that our district is involved in throughout the school year. So I know it's February, but I want to talk to you a little bit reflectively and also about what we're in the middle of this spring semester. So first of all, you may have noticed that there's a couple of different interim assessments listed on your board document that you received. We have the ACT Aspire interim assessments as well as classroom, and we also have NWA's Measures of Academic Progress, or MAP, as many of you know it, assessments. And the ACT Aspire interims are administered twice throughout the year. We give it in the fall and early in the spring. Right now, our grade 10 group of students are underway with the second interim with ACT Aspire, and they cover the subjects in English, reading, math, and science, as they will also see at the end of the year. MAP is administered 3 times throughout the year, early fall, winter, and then again in the spring. It's a reading and math interim assessment. So basically, these through-year assessments, they are test administered throughout the instructional year, and they're designed to provide real-time data that leads to greater personalization of student learning and instruction. They help us know where students are, what their needs are, where we need to go next, what we may need to provide as interventions on a very personal level. The interim assessments also provide projections about how students will perform on the summative. The ELPA, well, let me go back to the middle one, the PSAT. That was back in the fall, in October, and that's still a state-funded, standardized test that the department still funds to all grade 10 students in districts that are choosing to participate in that, and it's the preliminary SAT test. It is used for the National Merit Scholarship screening that they'll also then take again in their junior year if they qualify. On to ELPA. ELPA stands for English Language Proficiency Assessment. If you remember, I know you've heard a lot about our somewhat new accountability system. It's not really new anymore. Having multiple measures. Language proficiency is one of the measures now. So the interim assessments and the PSAT have absolutely no impact on your ESSA scores or any part of in your accountability piece. The one exception to that is your MAP. And that has just recently, this past fall, been approved to be a baseline or a data point to use in grades 1 and 2 for being able to have a growth measure at grade 3. Without having 2 points, you can't have a growth measure. So that entitles us to have a growth metric then awarded to our elementary schools, not just at grades 4 and 5, but also at grades 3, 4, and 5. So back to ELPA. We are in the middle of that. We started that January 27th. Each school creates their own calendar, their own school personal calendar on how they want to administer the ELPA assessments according to the state procedures. Approximately 8,150 students will take that assessment and earn a language proficiency score in 4 different domains. And those are reading, writing, listening, and speaking domains that they get measures on. This is used in ESSA as a complementary measure for determining growth with our English learners. So if y'all have any questions as I go through this, you just jump in there. So on the right-hand side, we talk about the ACT, and that's the one we're thinking of, the one that students also may take on a national test date. So Arkansas, about 5 years ago, I'm dating myself, 5 years ago, began funding the ACT universally for all grade 11 students. All grade 11 students in the state. So that provides a free administration for all students. It is a college reportable score, just as if they took it on a national test date. You still have the options to do paper, and Springdale still chooses to do the paper-based administration. This year, they gave us an option to delay it a little bit later in the year, so we took advantage of that option. More instructional time before you take the test. So it's March 10th. That's just around the corner. So your 3 high schools are busy preparing for that, as well as your alternative school at Archer. ACT, similar to ELPA, is also used as part of your ESSA score. It's used in the school quality and student success measures. So what that looks like is in the high schools where students have full academic year attendance and enrollment, they basically earn points if they meet a minimum or exceed a minimum ACT composite score of 19. They also get extra points, like a half a point in reading or a half a point in math or a half a point in science if they meet or exceed the benchmark that ACT sets for those 3 subjects. One of the neat things about this is not just based on a one-day test. They look at all the attempts that a student might have in their high school career over 3 years, and they take the highest composite to use that information. So this one you may not know a lot about. This is just the second year for the dynamic learning maps. It is also a standardized assessment like ELPA and like ACT and that, but this one is designed to provide students that maybe are not able to access grade level content due to a severe cognitive disability, but are required to have a measure of whether they're learning. So this covers English language arts, math, and science. It looks a little different. Instead of being at a specific date or point in time in the year, it's driven throughout the entire instructional year to actually inform and drive instruction with these students on a very individual level. There's a fall window that's instructionally embedded and a spring window that's instructionally embedded. And the two create a blueprint that a child then is given a score on. Those scores are used for determining student achievement in ESSA. The science component in that is used for school quality for the student success indicator. The only limitation in the dynamic learning maps is it does not provide a reading achievement level, and it doesn't have the growth piece for ESSA. We currently have about 142 students participating in this test. It is an online one-to-one administered test. And the last one I was going to talk about tonight is the big one we all think about. It's in grades 3 through 10 as well as the dynamic learning maps. And it's the grade level summative assessment given to our students in English, reading, writing, math, and science. It is an online assessment, and it is used for determining student achievement in our school ESSA scores. It's used for determining student growth. Then they pull out components specifically reading and science and use them for giving us credits in school quality and student success for such as reading at grade level, having met the benchmark in science, and whether or not we're growing according to a national rank in the state. That will be approximately 14,800 students that engage in that after the first week of April through the first week of May. This year we had a pass on NAEP. It's only administered in odd years, so we usually are very involved with the National Assessment for Educational Performance, so we had a pass on that. The only other thing that is a very big thing is at the end of the year, every one of those AP courses are also assessed. So lots of measures going on. Is there anything you'd like to ask me? Any questions or clarity you need? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mel. Great job. Pretty special. Wouldn't you agree? I know you would. Very quickly, I'd like to remind you about some upcoming dates, Board, if I might. On March 3rd, we have the dedication of our Springdale High School athletic facility. That should be from about 4 to 5 o'clock that afternoon. Please get that on your schedule. I know you'll love it. And then on March 10th, we'll have the dedication of our Harbor High School softball and baseball facilities, same time frame, et cetera. Again, a beautiful event. I know you'll want to be a part of that. On March 20th, Friday, March 20th, we'll have the dedication of our new medical facility out at Parson Hills. Our team's just done a beautiful job. Jared, thank you for your leadership in that. I'm looking forward to the dedicating that facility, and again, service to children and families. That's very, 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 very special. What time would that be? I believe that's at 9 o'clock in the morning. Mike, I'm sorry about the confusion on dates with a very special visitor, but I think we've cleaned that up for sure. But so Friday, March 20th, 9 o'clock, Parson Hills, in the new space there. I want to just bring your attention to some handouts that are in front of you. We're continuing to work on the agenda for our April 14th School Board Administrative Work Session. As you can see, the agenda in front of you has a little more depth, a little more definition than what you'd received previously, but we're just starting down that road, And again, there's ample time for us to continue to make adjustments if there are things that you'd really like to see in that agenda as well. And then let me point out another handout that's in front of you. I want to thank you for the privilege that you have given me to be a part of the American Association of School Administrators governing board that calls for an adjustments in calendar a couple of times a year, and you've always been great to do that. I just participated this past week in that event. It was held in San Diego, California, beautiful city, as you all know, and it was great to be there with almost 4,000 school administrators from around the state. The organization is divided into 7 regions, and so over the years you develop significant networks with your fellow administrators, and they share their pushes and pulls and growth and so on and so forth, and it is a great thing. I want to tell you this as a spokesman for the district. You've seen on display here again this evening, and certainly you've seen on display for now our 6th year with our work on in innovative education in the district. You see the phase 2 of the School of Innovation coming forward. That will be a marvelous new high school that will serve 2,000 plus kids. And Shannon, I think we have more than 1,600 registered to attend in the fall. As you know, there's also a distance learning piece, a digital piece, if you will. And we're approaching 150 or so students from not just the region, but from around the state that we're serving in that capacity, et cetera. I tell you that to say that a year ago, I just made a point to sit down with the executive director and his leadership team. And I shared the great work of our students, our teachers and principals, and our parents in the school district from the standpoint of bringing personalized learning forward. I didn't personally feel the National Association was moving this agenda as fast as it could be moved so that thousands and hundreds of thousands of young people could have an opportunity for a personalized learning model. And I say this with the warmest smile. Do you know what the theme of the conference was this year? Michelle knows. Personalized learning. It was a beautiful thing. Now, there's plenty of stretch to go, in my opinion, in that regard. There were some programs on the agenda that really caught your attention and caught others' attention, so you'll see it proliferate and grow over time. But the nation as a whole has got enormous work to do in terms of innovation and personalized learning. Kevin, it's a new approach. I'll never forget your question over at Siloam. What if nobody else goes along with it? I can assure you the world's going along with it because of what you've seen on display right here this evening. You've seen it on display every month for years and years and years. So being a part of that conversation is really important. I think we all grow and glean from it, but then you see others stretching and growing and kids being better served as a result. As I sit in the regional meetings this year, and I know I bring back every year exactly what's in front of you this evening, the legislative agenda for the American Association of School Administrators. And every year that as long as I can remember, IDEA has been on that agenda. You know that we have almost 2,500 special needs children in our district, a phenomenal staff, phenomenal team serving the needs of those kids. But you need resources in order to provide those services. And 30 plus years ago, Congress committed to funding the needs of state agencies, school districts, et cetera, to serve special students at least the 40% level in terms of local instructional cost. That needle hasn't moved very much. As a matter of fact, it eked its way up to almost 18% at the highest level, on their way to 40%. So 40% is their definition of 100% of federal assistance to help with that. well, that would be a marvelous thing, but we've regressed. We've slid back to under 15% now. So I get what they close the door, they won't let me anymore, I don't know. Anyway, I just suggested to our group, what if we become more and more empirical in our decision-making process? What if we do the statistics, the graphics, we show the growth, we show the investment that produced these results, and you build on it over time? Well, we'll see. I doubt that the title next year will be anything to do with that topic, but we'll see how it goes. I just think it makes a lot of sense, Debbie. If we invest this amount of money, we produce these results, what will it take to get to this level? Over a period of time, you can get there. But again, if you don't, in my mind, if you don't have a strategic empirical plan to move the nation in terms of service of this very special group of students, we may languish way too long. So in meetings like this, there's opportunity for networking and dialogue and people of similar mind and commitment to address topics like that. There's hundreds of important topics. You're seeing the district move in regard to social-emotional learning. You heard it addressed here tonight when our teachers talk about recognizing the mental health needs of our children and frankly their families as well, and how can we play a larger role in that initiative. Our district has an emerging plan that will be on your agenda. Mr. Donnell's doing absolutely phenomenal work bringing our social worker program forward, along with the great counselors that you saw recognized here this evening. Frankly, along with 1,800 plus teachers, 1,200 plus support personnel as a district, doing all that we can humanly do to serve the needs of each of our children. Teach them all. All means all. It's a beautiful slogan that we can all be committed to. I've sent you information just in the last few days about grant opportunities. It doesn't mean we'll get the grants at all, but we have been approached in terms of potential grant opportunities through major corporations in our region. And I should have just stopped and thanked Mr. Steckline for his work this evening. He had a full agenda. I want you to know Chris is helping us open doors to build partnerships that can lead to potential funding sources that can do what? Let us improve services to our children. So these topics that I've mentioned, and I won't retrace them, but those are topics that have enormous application in our district today. And we've got a great team of people addressing that. I want to just close this way, and I want to say it unabashedly. It has been the desire of this team, the great teachers, the principals, the support personnel, the central office team, our school board, to create a world-class school system in Springdale, Arkansas. I send you information all the time that captures this vision. Springdale School District is growing in prominence at the local, state, and national level. Our children, our students, and our staff are leading the way. That's major. We are on our way to creating a world-class school system, and you see evidence of it every month. So I want to thank you, as I do all the time, for laying the foundation that these great teachers and principals can do their work from. It's big time. It's major important for our children, for our families, for Springdale, for the region, for our state. Y'all play a major role in that. So thank you very, very much. I look forward to our work session on the 14th to continue our discussion.
Thank you, Dr. Rollins, for the inspiring words and the agenda. If anybody's got any ideas or changes or something you want to add, just get with Dr. Rollins for the work session in April. And speaking of world class, we're kind of in the presence of world class tonight with Mr. Mike Luttrell. So I had the honor, and I'm being serious now. This is Mike's last school board meeting. So Mike has served the district in and around the last 15 years. He had to leave the board a couple of times for some other commitments and appointed back to the board. And then, so basically Mike has been serving the Springdale School District for about 15 years, if I'm correct. Did I add that up pretty close? Mike is a outstanding board member. You were given that award in 2003. A master board member in 2005. He has served in the capacity of secretary, treasurer, vice president, and president between the years of 2005 to 2015. Multi-capacity. You served as the Springdale School Board's representative to the Arkansas State Board Association Delegate Assembly in 2012 and received the ultimate school board member honor. He received the Dr. Daniel Pilkington Award in December of 2016 for excellent service in serving kids in the Springdale School District. And it is my personal pleasure to be able to get to know Mike. I probably wouldn't have got to know Mike if I hadn't had an opportunity to serve on the Springdale School Board. So I am indebted to your leadership, your humbleness, and your sacrifice to serving Springdale, Arkansas, and the Springdale School District. So let's give a round of applause to Mike. If you'd like to say something, Mike, feel free.
I would like to say something. Of course, you mentioned the Dr. Dan Award to the, kind of the highest award for a school board member in the state of Arkansas. That's because Dr. Rollins can write a really good letter.
It was a privilege.
Yeah. As I was thinking about this a little bit a few weeks ago, I thought, and again, my math is not great, but over 200 school board meetings, over 400 school board lunches, 14,000 plus diplomas. I didn't hand them all out, but I got to be a part of a group that did. 20 plus school dedications, and being called son about 1,000 times, give or take. You got on my left, but it's been great. I mean, I have enjoyed it. I was able to see my dad do it and serve for a number of years in this role. And then when the opportunity came along and Dr. Rollins asked me to consider it, I thought, does he realize how many events I got thrown out of as a student at Springdale High School back in the day when he asked me to do that? So I've been able to overcome a few things, I guess, but I have certainly enjoyed it, and part of what makes it so easy, and Dr. Rollins was talking about how the board sets the vision in the foundation. You couldn't do what I've done for 15 years if you don't have a great leader of the organization. I mean, really, that doesn't mean that we've agreed 100% of the time, but there's always been 100% respect along the way. And, I've enjoyed doing this because we did have a good leader. You go to state meetings and national meetings, and I've heard Randy say this a time or two, that, you see something that's new and innovative, and we're going, well, the people in this room are already doing all that. And that's because you encourage them to do that, and you give them the rope to do that, and to go make decisions and do things for the school district. You've done it great for 30 some odd years, and you'll do it great for a couple more. I mean, we're lucky to have been able to do this. I don't know that I could have done it in another district if we had to go through several superintendents one time after another, and it's certainly made my job much easier. Also, when I think about the board members I've got to work with in the past, it's been a great group of people, and even the ones that I sit with today, they all care, and we try to work together, and we try to be cohesive. And again, we probably don't always agree 100% of the time, but you know what? I think we respect each other, and it's amazing to be able to do what I've been able to do. And I think about David Van Bever and Robert Farrell and Jim Bradford and just the many that have sat in these chairs before us. It's been great to do it. Thankful that the community lets us do it. We are a national leader in everything we do. It's because of you. It's because of each one of you sit here at this board, and you got to be surrounded by a great team. So every single one of you have done something that really changes kids' lives and helps make our job really easy. Thank you for having school board lunches in every school building. I mean, that's great. You know, I think there's places where the only thing the school board gets to do is look at a budget and hire and fire a superintendent and set policy and procedure, and that's it. That would be awful. But you guys let us come into your buildings and see things and show us your great work, and we get to celebrate it, because folks are quick to call us and tell us the things they don't like. And it's good that we get the chance to go in the buildings and see the great things that you're doing. So anyway, I've rambled a little too long. I've enjoyed it. Thank you for the opportunity, and I look forward to continuing to serve education in Springdale for a long time. So thank you.
Okay, I've got a complaint. Here's my complaint. People need to quit talking about how great Jeremy White is. This air conditioner's about to fall out of the ceiling over here. And I don't see him anywhere. Oh, there he is. Okay. So, sorry.
That's pretty good there.
Congratulations, Mike. Thank you. It is a pleasure to work with you. There are many, many, many great people in this district. Dr. Rollins, from him all the way to Jeremy White at the very bottom. But one wonderful person is here that I don't know that all of you know or know the work that she does. We have a personnel policy committee in our district, and they meet most of the time, month to month. You get the opportunity to see an academic calendar. In many districts, it's a grueling process that you all have to go through. Here, it's done pretty much for you unless you have input. And one of the people who spearheads that, or who has since I've been here, and really hasn't gotten much credit and deserves a ton, is Miss Jill Law. I'd like to invite Miss Jill Law to come to the podium because she is excellent in her work. I have a great deal of respect for Miss Law, and it's a grueling process to lead a lot of people, right?
It can be.
And we have the academic calendar, which she's helped to spearhead, along with input from the other assistant superintendents and teachers. So, Ms. Law.
Hi. Many of you I know have known for many, many years. But yes, we have, normally when I begin working on the calendar, I pull from the other, we call the big four. So I pull the big three so we kind of can see what everyone's doing. Try to get ideas, have some great ideas that we're going to try and maybe do the following year. I worked with Dr. Smith on several things. Having the roots training this year, we had to really focus on getting some of our in-service days early in the fall because we need those administrators to have that opportunity to get all those evaluations done by the end of May, and having to evaluate all the teachers 3 times within the rest of the school year is a lot after getting those 18 hours in. So we've got our normal 5 days at the beginning of the school year with our parent-teacher conferences in September. We've added a September PD day, one of the days in August, and then the October PD day as our 3 days to finish up the 18 hours for roots training for all the K through 6 teachers. And then that'll allow the principals to begin starting their evaluations. The one thing that we had an option for the teachers to vote on was the choice of our flex day, our PD flex day. If we wanted to have it in the fall, or if they wanted to move to February. And many teachers had said, please, can we have a day in February where we can have a break in that long January to spring break? And by a majority of, I think it was about 67%, 66 was a vote for having that flex day back in on Washington's Day in February. So that was the only major change that we did for this next school year. Having our snow days, again, at the end of May, hopefully. I mean, we haven't had snow days and I know. I am not a snow day teacher. Let's just go to school and let's be out when it's pretty in May and let's go to school and let's, be ready. So I'm not a snow day teacher. I'm not the ones praying for snow. But I try my best to try to give a calendar that would be suitable for teachers as well as families and the academic part as well. So, do y'all have any questions on it? Yes. Yes.
Because I was curious, we had originally had the 16th and the 19th.
Yes.
And because the 16th is part of War Eagle. And
Right.
the number of people we have out for.
Due to
taking
the,
a day.
right, and the following year, we're gonna put that back in. We had to have a PD day in September. And so we had the October one that's required, and
I'm just questioning whether or not instead of the Monday, the Friday, that they would still have to go to PD instead of.
right, and PD on Fridays is hard for football coaches in football season. I know that kind of sounds strange. Football coaches
No,
really
it
would
makes
rather,
sense.
yeah, that, and so we left it on the Monday, and we gave teachers the choice. Do you want Friday of Craft Fair Day off, or do you want Monday of President's Day? And vast majority said, I'd rather have Monday in February. And so we're just gonna kind of tell the principals, if teachers are gonna want off that day, let's get it on the calendar quickly so we can go ahead and be prepared for that day. And yes, Dr. Smith and I we had that conversation, and really that was the only thing that we could give them as an option. And I always like to be able to give the teachers two options. I don't ever want to just say, here's your calendar, this is not, I always want them to have that option.
Well, and then my other question is, did you see a strong line between elementary and high school choosing one versus the other?
No.
Or is it pretty?
No, it's pretty even.
Okay.
Yep, it's pretty even. Any other questions?
Thank you. Great job.
So you were saying that next school year?
So the
or-
next school year, the 21-22 school year, we're going to try something different at parent-teacher conferences. We're going to do conferences in 1 week. One evening, do high school one evening, junior high, middle school one evening, elementary one evening, and Friday, we'll have no students, and we'll do conferences that morning. That's one thing that we've had a lot of teachers ask for, is we have parents that work third shift. They can't come in the night. They can't get there, they work. Can we please have a daytime conferences? So we're gonna try to do that next year as an option, and then we'll be able to have that day in September that we'll have kind of a half-a-day conferences, because we have 6 hours of conference time. 3 hours will be in the evening, 3 hours that morning. Dr. Cleveland and I even spoke even that afternoon. So the very last day of school for teachers is the last day after students, and it's a work day. Splitting that day and let half of that work day be in September, where the teachers can actually utilize that work day in the school year. Because really that last day of school, you kind of wrap up your classroom and everybody's ready to go around noon. Here, if we take that 6 hours and split half of it on that day to wrap up your classroom, and the other 3 after you do conferences that morning, what a much better way that we could actually utilize an actual teacher work day and to give those teachers that time. And I've spoken to a couple of teachers that are like, oh my goodness, there's so much I could do if I just had 3 hours in my room with my, grade level or with my PLC in September. I've got to know my kids a little bit better. We can really begin to work on grouping our kids. And by then, we'll have had at least, we'll have all of our ROOPS training done, so be able to just utilize some more of those strategies that we've learned. So, you're welcome.
Thank you.
I'm glad I could do it. I think I've been on the committee for 18 years, and the chairperson for about 15 of that. So. Well, I was going to step down when Mr. Jones left, and then someone persuaded me to continue working on it, and I've enjoyed working with Dr. Cleveland. It is wonderful to work with him. He is a great man to work with, so I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Any other questions on the calendar?
I make a motion that we accept calendar A as presented.
So A is the one that you had the highest favorable response?
Yes, yes.
So we have a motion by Mrs. Creek and a second by Mr. Emerson to accept calendar A as proposed 2020-21 school calendar. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate
Hey, Jim, one more question. Is everybody typically going back the same time?
Everybody's going at the same day. I've pulled all the calendars, pretty much the days. I know, because someone asked me about snow days. Why do we always have them at the end? Why can't we have them in the calendar? And I'm like, I don't know where you're gonna put in extra days at. One district, 3 districts, just like ourselves, do snow days right after school, or in May. And then one district does have, they have President's Day as an in-service, and they've got that as snow day 1. So if there's a snow day, which we have that as, our policy states when we wrote it, when we used like 12 days, snow days, Mr. Jones and I rewrote the policy. After the 5 days, we would begin using teacher in-service days, and then Saturdays, and then spring break. We kind of got to the extreme because we had so many days that year. But they have that President's Day as 1 day, and then they have 2 days in the last 2 days of school as snow days, and then days 4 through 8 would be all AMI days. It's what this one district has on their calendar.
Thank you.
So, you're welcome. Anything else? Okay.
Told you she's a wealth of knowledge. She sure is. Okay. Provided you with an update. The earliest update, or the latest update I've received is today on School Innovation Phase 2. I think I got it about 4 o'clock, so I've printed it for you. Typically send those to you by email. Are you receiving those? Mm-hmm. Okay, I know Doc is. He and I talked about them. I think a week or 2 ago, I sent you a really cool drone video of an overview. Got a new one. Dr. Rollins hadn't seen this one yet. If we'll go ahead and put that on, I'd like the group to be able to look at the drone. Music's a little over the top. I get it. I understand that. But it was pretty neat, I thought. At the end of the day, these will be really good archives for us to have in our system to know how the building was built, the progress, and it's good for progress monitoring. And it also gives us a really good understanding of just the scope of the whole overall facility. It's tremendous. It really is tremendous. The best thing is Mr. Hayes and I, along with Jeremy Quide and the Baldwin Shell team, met today and reviewed budgets to make sure we had everything in our budget. We do have a couple of outliers. We do some things I don't even know that you know. We do our professional cabling. We do that. We contract with a local company through Tips Taps, and so we're making sure everything that we have under our scope is within the overall budget of the facility. So Dr. Rollins is expectant of that, as well as I know you are, and we're trying to make sure that we don't leave anything out. We don't want you to have any surprises. Speaking of surprises, Dr. Rollins mentioned to you about March 3rd and March 10th, our opening of Springdale High and Harbor softball and baseball. We're going to do that. Another aspect of that, I believe you've given us permission to move forward on building the athletic facilities locker rooms at both places. Am I correct? Okay, we have good information on that. We also have tonight information in regard to the cheer and dance facility and wrestling over at Harbor. The original budget for that was very high, and Dr. Rollins did his best work, and he said, Jared, get the best price and cut in half, and then get less than that. So that's pretty much what we did. We wound up with about a $3 million budget. And I'm excited to say that the Ball, Win, and Shell team, along with WD&D, did an excellent job, and we have it just above 2.5 million. So that's almost, well, just over $400,000 in savings. The opportunity there, though, is you have options to go back and add some adders. You could put epoxy flooring in the bathrooms and things like that. So those decisions haven't been made. I've got to get with Dr. Rollins, and he'll be able to delineate the expectations for those facilities, but they're coming forward. We've also, on the cheer and dance facility, it's going to be awesome. I mean, it's just unbelievable what that's going to look like. And we can't wait to show you some of those renderings at the April work session. So I'm looking forward to that, and thank you, Dr. Rollins, for letting us do that, and just looking really excited. I'm really excited about it. Overall, right now, it's about 2.573856 million. That has a contingency of about 167,000. Often we don't use those contingency dollars. That's just for maybe a mess up or a hiccup or whatever. Yes, sir.
How long is that project going to take?
Well, our hope is, once we get final approval from you and Dr. Rollins, that we'll be able to start that at the end of the school year. We expect it to be an 8 to 10 month build. If we have weather the way it's been, I'm not sure the answer. But if we have a dry summer and a relatively dry fall, we can get it done before baseball season. It'll still be a little messy, but we're hopeful that we're able to do that. But we need a good start date. We need a hard start and have it done and be ready. So, any questions in regard to that? Okay. Well, unless you have any other questions regarding the facilities, there's one thing I know somebody, I think it was Mr. Emerson, texted me one time, thank you for going by and looking at the school-based health center. The front school-based health center of Parson Hills is so nice, incredible, that it's made the rest of the building kind of stand out of, we need a little refresher. So we're going to have some summer projects to make the rest of the building look like it's as new as the school-based health center. So thank you for, sometimes when we look at something every single day, we get used to the way that looks. And so without the hey, have you checked out? And us step back and look through a different lens, that's nice. And so thank you. I appreciate that. So hopefully we'll have some good projects for you in the summer. And Jeremy, I apologize for calling you out. You are excellent.
It's funny.
Thank you.
It's funny, though.
Good evening. You'll see in your packet today that you have a request for out-of-district transfers from 4 students from Siloam Springs, 1 student from Fayetteville, and 1 student from Huntsville that want to transfer into the district. So I'll answer any questions that you have. Otherwise, I'd ask that you approve these out-of-district transfers.
Make a motion to accept the transfers as submitted.
Second.
So we have a motion by Mr. Hudson and a second by Mrs. Cook to accept the out-of-district transfers as stated. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Thank you. You'll also see in your packet, again this month, is an update on the school election, which early voting started today and will run through Election Day. The times, places, and locations are all included in your material. Like we discussed last month, you're able to vote at any of the voting locations that are in your county. So if you live in Washington County, you'll need to vote in any of the Washington County vote centers, and same thing in Benton County. There are a couple of slides that you'll see with a helpful website if you want to look at this before you go to vote. You're able to go to this website, VoterView. I believe you can type in just voterview.org. If not, copy and paste from here. It's through the Secretary of State's website, but you can actually type in your own information, so your name, date of birth, and then if you'll go to the next slide, you'll scroll all the way down to the bottom once it pulls up your information, and you can click on sample ballots. So you're able to see what your ballot is going to look like. It's actually screenshots of the electronic voting machines. So before you get in there and are surprised at some of the judicial races or different things that may be on your ballot, you can look at that before you go vote. So I would encourage you to do that and be sure to vote sometime between now and March the 3rd. Early voting will run all the way through March 3rd, but on Monday, March the 2nd, the day before Election Day, there are limited locations. So be sure if you wait till the 2nd and you're wanting to vote, you look at what places are open. I think it's only the courthouse on that last day. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, thank you.
Good evening, Board and Dr. Rollins. I have two items for you this evening. The first one is basically a renewal of our directors and officers life insurance policy, not life, directors and officer insurance policy. We have been with Walker Brothers Insurance for a number of years, and again, they have brought the same policy forward. I didn't have the premium in your packet, but it's $24,007, which is slightly up from last year, but right in the same ballpark. Because of Mr. Luttrell's connection to Walker Brothers, we do need to disclose that. Mr. Luttrell is an employee of Walker Brothers Insurance, and so we have to also, once the board approves accepting this bid, then we will also have to get permission from the state to accept it as well. This is pretty routine. This is the same policy we've had for a number of years. We've never had a problem before. I don't anticipate a problem this year.
Last time we'll have to do that.
I'm not going to miss it. But I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have. Otherwise, if I could get someone to approve accepting the bid from Walker Brothers and then acknowledge the resolution of the related party.
I'll make a motion to accept the bid and the resolution. They do two separate
No,
motions?
I think it could be one, it's fine.
What he just said.
So Randy, Mr. Hudson has the motion. And we have a second by Mr. Emerson to accept the proposal for the district's policy of directors and officers liability and the disclosure. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't know if someone, Dr. Rollins, you're going to get Mr. Luttrell for us. And then the second item I have for you this evening is the financials for the month of January. You can see, if you looked at the revenue report, we're right in line with where we were this time last year. So I feel really good about that. On our expenditure report, I took a second glance at the operating fund because we're slightly ahead. But the reason being is because we've made a couple of major purchases earlier in the year this year than we did last year. And so that's the reason the percentages are a little off. I'm not overly concerned about it, but I'll be happy to answer any questions.
No financial questions?
I'll make a motion we accept the financial statements as presented.
Second. So we have a motion by Mr. Luttrell and a second by Mr. Ramos to accept the monthly financials as presented. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Thank you very much.
Do we have an issue?
our Springdale Education Association rep with us this evening? If not, Mr. President, that concludes our agenda.
We're going to retire to executive session.